Everyone is telling you to become an AI engineer, but nobody shows you the exact steps. This is the complete 90-day roadmap to get your first AI job in 2026, even if you are starting from scratch. In the next few minutes, I will give you the exact week-by-week plan that separates the top 1% of engineers from everyone else. We will first cover the 3 foundational skills you actually need, and I will show you why Python is the least important one to focus on at first. Then, I will give you the 2 portfolio projects that recruiters are desperate to see. Finally, we will break down the interview strategy that actually gets you hired. But let's start right now with the biggest mistake most people make. They dive straight into complex machine learning theory and advanced math. That is a trap. The fastest path is not becoming a research scientist. It is becoming an AI problem solver. This means you start with the tools first, frameworks like LangChain and the APIs from OpenAI and Google. You learn the theory by building real applications, not the other way around. This single mindset shift is what separates engineers who get hired in 90 days from those still watching tutorials a year from now. So let's build your 90-day foundation. Forget algorithms for a moment. The first skill, the one you must master in weeks 1 through 4, is what I call API-first development. While everyone else is stuck installing complex libraries, you will be getting results in minutes. Think of it like this. A traditional programmer builds a car engine from scratch. An AI engineer learns how to connect pre-built, world-class engines from Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic. Your job is not to smelt the steel, it is to build the fastest car. For example, in your first week, you can build an application that summarizes business reports using a single call to a model like Claude Opus 4.5. You immediately deliver value while the theory-first engineer is still trying to understand calculus. This is the new leverage. The second skill for weeks 5 through 8 is AI orchestration. This is where you move from using one tool to conducting an entire orchestra of them. If API fluency is about making a single phone call, orchestration is about managing a call center. Imagine a digital employee. Its job is to read a customer email. It then uses a model like Gemini 3 to understand the sentiment, searches your database for the customer's order history, and finally drafts a personalized reply with a model like GPT 5.2. You did not build any of those individual skills, you simply connected them. This is the core of modern AI engineering, using frameworks like LangChain to build systems that are more powerful than any single model. This is what companies are desperate to hire for. The third foundational skill is the one most engineers completely ignore, and it is why they get stuck. For weeks 9 through 12, you focus on value-driven design. This is not a coding skill, it is a strategy skill. Instead of asking what can I build, you ask what problem can I solve that creates the most value. Most engineers build a technology and then look for a problem. A top-tier AI engineer finds a costly business problem and applies the simplest AI solution. For example, instead of building a generic chatbot, you discover that a sales team spends 20% of their time manually updating their CRM. You build a simple AI agent that automates just that. That one small project could save a company hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the skill that gets you a $200,000 salary. So, API-first development, AI orchestration, and value-driven design. These are your first 90 days. If you are starting to see how this approach is different from other advice, do me a favor and hit the like button right now. It tells the algorithm that you need more content like this, and it really helps the channel. But knowing these concepts is not enough. You have to prove you can apply them. And that brings us to the most important part of your journey, your portfolio. Most engineers build the exact same 2 or 3 projects. I am about to show you the 2 projects that will make your application stand out from thousands of others. Alright, let's break down the portfolio that gets you hired. Forget building another chatbot or a movie recommendation engine. Hiring managers have seen thousands of those. They do not prove you can create business value. They only prove you can follow a tutorial. We are going to build 2 projects that are fundamentally different. They are designed to showcase the 3 core skills we just covered: API-first development, AI orchestration, and value-driven design. Your first project is what I call the Micro-SaaS Agent. Do not just build a demo. Build a tiny, focused product that solves one specific painful business problem. Think of it this way. A standard portfolio project is like building a perfect, beautiful model car from a kit. The Micro-SaaS project is like building a scrappy go-kart that actually drives. Which one do you think a recruiter is more impressed by? The one that looks nice or the one that actually works and goes somewhere? Here is the step by step. First, find a real world inefficiency. Go on forums for sales professionals, marketers, or project managers. Find a repetitive, manual task they complain about. For example, product managers constantly complain about manually sifting through hundreds of customer support tickets to find recurring themes and feedback. That is a perfect problem. Second, scope it down to the smallest possible solution. You are not building a whole new Zendesk. You are building an agent that ingests a single CSV file of support tickets and outputs a one-page summary, complete with sentiment analysis and the top 5 feature requests. Third, build it with off-the-shelf tools. Use the OpenAI API for the summarization, maybe a model like Claude Opus 4.5 for its nuanced understanding of sentiment, and a simple framework like Streamlit to create a user interface where someone could upload the file. This entire process showcases your API-first development skills. Now, here is the crucial part that demonstrates value-driven design. You do not just show the project, you quantify its impact. Imagine a company has 5 product managers. Each one spends 4 hours a week manually reviewing this feedback. That is 20 hours of high-value employee time every single week. If the average salary for a product manager is $150,000, their time is worth about $75 an hour. Your simple agent saves the company $1,500 a week. That is a $78,000 annual impact. When you are in an interview, you are not just a candidate who built a summarizer. You are the candidate who built a tool with a $78,000 ROI. That changes the entire conversation. Now for the second project, which is designed to showcase your mastery of AI orchestration. We will call this the multi-agent research system. This project proves you can move beyond single API calls and manage a team of specialized AI agents working together on a complex task. Think of yourself as a film director. You are not the actor, the writer, or the cinematographer. You are the one who directs all of them to create a final, cohesive product. Here is the blueprint. Define a complex business workflow, like creating a detailed market analysis report on a new competitor. Then, you assign specific roles to different AI models. Your first agent is the researcher. You will use a model like Gemini 3 Pro, giving it access to web search tools to find the latest news, financial reports, and product reviews about the target company. Its only job is to gather raw data and structure it into a clean format. Your second agent is the analyst. This agent takes the raw data from the researcher and uses a model like Claude Opus 4.5, which excels at complex reasoning. Its job is to perform a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and identify key strategic insights. It does not write the final report, it just provides the core analysis. Your third agent is the writer. This agent takes the structured analysis and, using a powerful language model like GPT 5.2, drafts a polished executive-level report, complete with charts and key takeaways. You use a framework like LangChain to chain these agents together, so the output of the researcher automatically becomes the input for the analyst, and so on. Now, let's talk about the case study for this project. A junior market analyst might spend 15 hours compiling a similar report. At a loaded cost of $50 an hour, that is a $750 task. Your multi-agent system can produce a comparable data-driven report in under 15 minutes for an API cost of about $2.85. You have just demonstrated a 99.6% cost reduction on a common business task. This is what separates you from everyone else. Most engineers believe they need to fine-tune a model to prove their skills. That is the old way of thinking. The most valuable engineers today are not the ones building a slightly better single model. They are the ones who can compose 10 existing models to create massive new value. This project proves you are one of them. Okay? These 2 projects are your ticket to getting hired. If this is the kind of detailed, no-fluff advice you have been looking for, make sure you are subscribed, because we are just getting started. With these 2 projects in your portfolio, the interview process is no longer an obstacle. It is an opportunity. And here is the uncomfortable truth about AI engineering interviews. They are not about lead code, they are about product sense and system design. The question will not be to reverse a linked list. The question will be, design an AI system to automatically moderate user-generated content for our platform. Most engineers will immediately start talking about specific models and algorithms. That is a mistake. You will start by talking about the business problem. You will ask questions like, what is the cost of manual moderation right now? What is the business impact of a missed violation? What is our tolerance for false positives? You are framing the problem in terms of value, not technology. Then you will whiteboard the solution using the orchestration pattern you practiced. I would design a multi-agent system. First, a simple, fast triage agent to classify content into low, medium, and high risk categories. High risk content goes immediately to a human. For medium risk, a policy agent uses RAG to check it against our specific community guidelines. Finally, an action agent would either approve the content, flag it, or draft a warning to the user. You are demonstrating a clear, logical system built from specialized components. You are showing you think about cost, latency, and accuracy, not just picking the biggest model. When they ask to see your work, you walk them through your micro-SaaS and multi-agent projects. But you do not lead with the tech, you lead with the problem. I noticed product managers were wasting 20 hours a week on manual feedback analysis, costing the business an estimated $78,000 a year. So I built this. You have completely reframed the conversation from what you can code to the value you can create. That is how you get the job. The candidates who get hired are the ones who speak the language of value, not just the language of code. Your interview is not a test of your Python skills, it is a test of your ability to solve business problems. And now you are prepared for it. Building those two projects is a huge step. But here is the uncomfortable truth. It is not enough. And this is the exact point where most aspiring AI engineers fail. They treat their portfolio like a final exam. They finish the projects, upload them to GitHub, and then they wait. That is a losing strategy. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking the project is the final product. The project is just the raw material. The proof of value is the final product. Let me tell you about an engineer I knew, brilliantly technical. He spent 3 months building a custom neural network to predict customer churn. It was a masterpiece of complexity. But when he presented it, the hiring manager asked a simple question. How is this better than a simple logistic regression model that we can build in an afternoon? He did not have an answer. He had fallen in love with the technology, not the problem. He failed to prove the value. That mistake can cost you the job before the interview even really begins. So, how do you avoid this? You shift from a builder mindset to a marketer mindset. Your job is not just to create the tool, it is to create the undeniable proof of its impact. This proof needs to be visual and instantly understandable. Instead of just a link to your code, imagine sending a recruiter a one-page summary. At the top, a headline, How I Built an AI Agent That Saves Product Managers 20 Hours Per Week, a $78,000 annual value. Below that, a simple flowchart of the multi-agent system showing how the researcher, analyst, and writer agents work together. Then you include the social proof. Picture a screenshot of a LinkedIn post where you shared your project and a real product manager commented, I need this. This solves a huge pain point for my team. That single comment is more powerful than 100 lines of perfect code because it validates the business need. This is how you scale your impact beyond a GitHub repository. Here are 3 pro tips to make this happen. First, for every project, create a short 2-minute video demo. Do not just show the code. Start with the problem, show the solution in action, and end with the quantified business impact. Second, write a detailed case study for each project. Post it as a LinkedIn article. Explain your thought process, the challenges you faced, and most importantly, how you focused on value-driven design. Third, proactively share this proof. Do not just attach it to applications. Find hiring managers or team leads at companies you admire and send them a concise message with a link to your case study showing you can solve their specific types of problems. By creating this package of proof, the quantified ROI, the visual diagrams, the testimonials, and the video demos, you change the entire dynamic. You are no longer just another applicant in the system. You are a consultant offering a solution. You provide overwhelming evidence that you do not just write code, you create value. This is the ultimate pro tip for scaling your career, and it is what separates the engineers who get hired from those who just get overlooked. At the beginning of this video, I promised you a complete 90-day roadmap, not just a list of skills, but a new way of thinking about your career. The uncomfortable truth is that while everyone is telling you to become an AI engineer, they are teaching you the wrong way, focusing on theory instead of value. Your first step from here is not to open a code editor. It is to open a new document and identify just one single repetitive business task you have seen in your industry. Find a problem worth solving. That is the true starting point. The opportunity right now is immense, but it will not last forever. The engineers who act on this value first mindset will be the ones who lead the next decade of software development. If this guide helped you see the path more clearly, subscribe for more career-focused AI strategies. In the next video, we will break down how to ace the AI system design interview by focusing on business value, not just technical details. You will not want to miss it.